Yeah. What's good, people? It's your boy Icarus Gray.
And it's your homeboy Wordplay TJ.
And this is the No Rhyme or Reason podcast where we talk about everything.
Everything for no reason at all.
We back.
You, you know what? We back should be like the quintessential thing that this podcast is known for.
We're back.
I mean,
we have to say it a lot.
Most podcasts don't take a lot of breaks, right? But
true that.
We have taken an astronomical amount of breaks. So
true.
I feel like it's okay.
Oh, it's 100% okay. We got to, we took breaks for good reasons, not for like kicks and giggles.
Kicks and giggles?
I have to say kicks and giggles.
Okay.
I'm censoring currently.
Oh man. So let's start off with why, right? There's a break currently.
Oh, well, I'm here now, guys. I told you I was coming.
Yeah.
And now I'm here.
Yeah,
it actually happened way quicker than I thought.
Folks that are watching on YouTube can see that we are here together on camera.
Same room.
Same room, same time.
Same everything.
Easier production quality.
Oh, so much easier. Sound will be better.
Yeah, so it sounds great. It's coming straight through the board. We have bad sound with the camera itself, but the audio on the road will help us out. And then we got our sound effects. So
yep.
Good luck with that, bruh.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're good. We're Gucci.
And it's just gonna keep going up from here. We're currently at our at what we'll call location alpha.
Yeah, temporary location until the other office is set up.
Until I'm like fully ready to get that stuff together. Unpacking, guys, listen. Unpacking is so. It can be difficult when you're not afforded with all the storage options that you're used to. Tacoma, listen, I love you guys. Why? Why no storage? Why no storage?
Why you don't have storage?
Why you don't have storage outside of your kitchen areas?
But what about, let's backtrack.
Backtrack.
The move in and of itself. Nice.
Bringing it back.
Okay, so the move.
Okay. So 66 hours later, I'm here. I came up last week mid-August to drop my wife off to start her new job. And yeah, that was a 33-hour drive, guys. It was crazy. But I mean, we didn't have to rush as much because she had time to get rest and she stayed here with the CEO of the OTMMG crew, Wordplay Digital. I don't know. I think I just made up a word. Whenever they listen back, they're not gonna know what I said. The wordplay tizzle. I don't know. Maybe that's what I said. But anyway,
we're gonna ignore that.
It was one of the most beautiful drives that I think that I've ever had. It was excruciatingly tiring because we did the drive in 3 days. So, like I said, it's a 33-hour drive. We broke that up into 3 days. Basically, the bulk of the driving being done day 1, day 2. I think we did probably 12 to 13 hours a day. Definitely, we did about 14 on the second day, to where on the last day we only had about 7 hours to get in town, which was actually great. It's something when you see America and you kind of see, because we live in a plains, or we come from a plains state, meaning there's a lot of flat area. So when you see like mountains and stuff, it's not like as grandiose as when you get up into the Rockies, etc. So it was an amazing adventure. The first trip, because in the first trip, it was just a car full of, a couple clothes and things to get through. I packed very light because I was going to have to come back, and I was not going to be like throwing a million things in your home.
That wouldn't have worked out anyway.
No. And I didn't want to like do like
limited space
pre-storage. Again, that is a Tacoma thing. I think that's the other thing that realizing it's kind of like if New York was a bit cheaper, well, a lot cheaper comparatively in terms of how they do space, because you can pay and get some good space.
Yeah, I can see that. We're like storage is up versus the kind of wide open spaces of the South.
Yeah, that was a bit of a shock. I love the food here though. That is something that I know I'm gonna be okay with. Food is amazing. But yeah, so we did the first little drive. I drop her off. I go back home. I finish working for a little bit, get the house semi-packed up. Apologies to all those who had to help me pack and move. Because when you go to work and you're like trying to pack up a house, it's tiring. Or even if it's like a small area. So it was, and I keep using that word a lot, but the rigors of just daily life as an adult are taxing. Like, period. Like places where you wouldn't presume yourself to be that tired or whatever. You're like, I didn't know I needed sleep like this.
So, all right. So we're kind of starting with the logistics of it all. But
Yeah.
what about the I guess the why, and maybe some of the worst parts of the trip.
So the why
gotta make this juicy.
was it's a spiritual thing. So we were planning to move regardless. We wanted to get to a home. We're at that adulting phase in our life where we want to get a home. You want to like not be continuously paying somebody for something that you will never own and something that is not really yours for like a lack of space, and having to call somebody to kind of handle stuff for you.
Yeah.
Versus handling it yourself, picking who you want, so on and so forth. So we had gone on a trip down to Savannah because that was another potential place that we had gone to that we were considering. And when we went down there in October of last year, we didn't get the vibes. The vibes weren't there. So we ultimately came back home. We were sitting around chilling, watching TV, and she says, well, why not Tacoma? And, I sat there for a second and I'm looking and I'm thinking about it, and I was like, well, I don't know, because in my mind, I'm like, we would only be moving to Tacoma in my mind for me at that point. It would be a choice of the fact that you were up here, that I would be able to pursue music in a way that I have not been able to pursue music in a very long time, to further the podcasting empire that we are growing, and so on and so forth. So initially, like, I was kind of apprehensive to it in a certain way, because I was like, well, that seems very one-sided for me.
The sacrificial lamb chop.
Which lamb chops are fire.
I think we just found the episode title.
We did. The sacrificial lamb chop. Facts. I almost started doing "This Is the Song That Never Ends," except for when cooked as a lamb chop.
So the why, right? Spiritual.
So spiritual, and then it's just basically like it was a God-given decision after that, because she said it with such calmness and there was no selfishness or malice in her voice. It was something that she could also see, and then we kind of just prayed about it, and then we saw it after making that trip.
Word.
And so we got here. We'll do a bigger breakdown on all the things that had to like go right for us to get up here, and the fact that so here's the biggest part about it. We literally moved and packed up everything in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like I've driven 66 hours in 2 weeks.
I know this story, so it's not. I don't have the best responses to. I'm like, okay,
Yeah, because he'd already like TJ and dang it, I forgot the rap name she made for herself. Oh, sorry, but
push it away from you.
oh, oh, there we go. I don't think I did any sort of changes there. A lot of moving
Just
for
smacking the
nothing.
mic up.
But shout out to my family up here because they made us realize all of what we just done. Because when you're in the middle of it, I don't think you think about it all that much. And they're like, "No, you just drove. Like you really just moved, and you drove
Across country,
twice.
right?
One time with the U-Haul."
Yeah, it's not a fun excursion. So
The bad parts.
what? Yeah, what are the bad parts?
Bad parts are Kansas.
Just the whole state.
Just the whole state of Kansas. Listen, no shots to y'all. Like, if you live there, that's cool. I don't know how, though. It's so many stretches of boring.
Right.
Like, nothing.
It's like
Nothing.
It's like West
There's
Texas.
nothing. Like, nothing. Like, oh my God. Once we got to Denver, or Colorado, I was so just like, thank God.
Yeah.
I'm out of there. I don't know how y'all do it. There's nothing but like corn
I mean,
and the Jayhawks.
corn and the Jayhawks.
That's it.
That's what they got. And then when they are watching the Jayhawks, they're eating corn.
Ah, facts.
All right.
I presume.
Kansas.
Shout out Kansas. But that was the worst. That was the worst driving because there's nothing scenic that you're looking at. I mean, there's some windmills here and there, but like, it was not it.
As Charles Barkley would say, terrible.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Oh wow, our impressions. Wow, they did not go over. But anyway, it was that was the excruciating part. That, and of course driving as long as we were. So back pain was real. Thigh burning was real.
Yeah.
Driving through different climates back to back to back was real. So we need to pause.
Yeah, we got to pause for a second.
And we'll be back. And we're back.
I don't know what we were talking about.
The worst parts of the trip. So back pain is real. Thigh pain is real. Oh my God. So the first trip up there was cool. Everything was fine. We had got, I want to thank everyone that contributed funds to our trip. You are much appreciated. I also realized I didn't think about everything once we made the trip. Because gas for my car, great. My car gets great gas mileage. I don't have any issues. Then I had to come back. And I had to come back with a U-Haul and the truck. And gas cross country is something I had to deal with. And that was, good God.
How much was it?
So it was about 150, 160 per stop. And that's before. And that's a little bit before, or actually it was about 130 to 160. And that's because you go from our gas, which is 2 something, to here, which is $3.99, $4.09 if you're not using cash. So, yeah, that was real deal stressful.
Too much.
And whew, that was my biggest stressor because everything else would have been fine.
Yeah.
Like, we would have been able to work out money for the rest of this month and everything else. And we still will be able to. I'm not worried about anything at this point after I've done what we've done. It's just like, okay, what else you got? We here.
Yeah.
But yeah, those were the worst parts of the trip in general, was just gas money.
Yeah.
Like everything else will be fine. It's just when you got to stop 3 times a day because you're driving 14 hours, that ain't it.
It's a little rough.
Shout out to my moms for covering the last 2 fill-ups of that U-Haul. I needed that.
Yeah.
Because if I had to do it by myself,
Good luck with that, bruh.
we wouldn't have made it.
All right, so let's keep it pushing, right? So on this trip, right, you got an opportunity to listen to the Drake album, right?
Yeah.
I listened halfway, and then I stopped. Same thing with Donda. Listened halfway, and then I stopped because I just wasn't that impressed.
Donda, I did exactly what you said. I had time when it came out, and I listened to some of it, and then I stopped and did not go back. But obviously, I was driving during the Certified Lover Boy release, and yeah, I got through that like 7 times
Yeah,
or more. I'm impressed, but I'm a Drake fan.
you got to back up.
Sorry, because I keep punching my mic. There we are.
Keep smacking the mic up.
Yeah, so I'm impressed because I'm a Drake fan. So, and there's spaces on this album that I feel like I was in. Mm-hmm. Like, and I ain't gonna go into them now because it'll actually escalate a couple things, but it is what it is.
So, as a certified lover boy expert,
True
in
that.
the room, tell me more.
Okay, so I loved all of the where he's just rapping and talking about life in general, just kind of where he is, the things that he's happy about. And I understand the things that he's dealing with, which to a lot of people, like, this beef is light for people. But I think that's from people who do not have these adult friendships that end over stupid things.
What do you mean? Him and Kanye?
Well, him and Kanye, or any of the relationships, like when you're trying to reach towards success and what that brings. Like a lot of the stuff that he was saying. So for me, one of like the most impactful lines is when he's talking about, you know, I hope no one in my team ever does something. He's like, nah, I ain't even got to worry about that because I don't have to worry about that with my people. And that's where we should be. That's something I think that we should all strive to do. A lot of the music, and I've said this before about the Double XL freshmen and their music, is it seems like you can't trust nobody. And that music don't make you feel like you can trust anybody.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't be like that. Like, you should earnestly be able to trust people, or at least trust the people that you fool with, that you ride with, that you don't believe have ulterior motives, and everything else. But I rock with the album. I think the low points would be like all the features did what they needed to do. Mm-hmm. I don't think it was overly saturated with features. I'm not a big Future guy, so some of those got a little dry to me. But Young Thug snapped. I like Lil Durk. Anything Lil Baby does at this point, I'm here. I'm with it because that dude be rapping. Jay-Z's verse was another one of those where it's just like, man, I just understand that. Like, y'all will, as fans, as viewers, will champion folks that it's like, these folks was like trying to kill me. Like, they was trying to off me, and y'all whole thing is y'all need to be cool. Like, and y'all roll with them. Like, I saw you do it. You had no information about what was going on either side, and you chose a side. So that was really cool to me. I think, who else? Travis Scott, I like the way he did his thing. I love Giveon. him and Cudi, I think there was more that I think I could have desired from that.
Yeah.
I think that they could do a really good album together. Because I think if Cudi is leading the album, because I think if you pull Drake out of his relationship kind of thing and go into the more mental health kind of thing that Cudi will do, it'll be fire to me. Rick Ross's verse was not as hard as like the last verse he had on Take Care with Drake, so I wasn't really as impressed by that. Wayne sounded like old Wayne, which is cool. But at the same time didn't bring everything that I think he probably could have brought to that.
So he sound like Wayne when his dreads were still intact.
Yeah, when they were short. Like Dedication to Wayne is what he kind of sounded like. Or maybe Dedication Carter 3-ish. Yeah, somewhere in there. Project Pat shines on this album.
I did hear that. I was pretty happy about the Project Pat being there.
And shout out Yeba, whatever. Shout out to West Memphis, Arkansas.
Nice.
Because that's where she's from, and she has been shining some everywhere I see her with Lucky Day and some other folks. So that was a highlight for me.
That's where my folks are from.
And the production on here was fire to me. Like, Kanae asked me this, or Prima Diva for those who don't know my wife. She asked me about the albums, and I said, well, Kanye's album, at least the songs that I listened to, inspired me to want to create. Like the energy of that album, it still has a good energy. It's just like a lot of times Kanye don't be rapping about nothing. Like I gotta listen to, if I gotta listen to your features for the rap parts, then I don't really know what to do with that. But Drake's album made me want to rap.
I feel like right now that I'm interviewing you.
Yeah.
And so I want to change the vibe of this conversation. So like thinking about like convince me that I should listen to.
Okay. That's harder to do because this album just ain't that TJ vibe though. Like there are TJ, but like, did you listen to the one with Jay-Z?
Barely.
So I would go back to that one, listen to that. I would listen to 7 a.m. on Birdie Path. I would listen to Race My Mind is another one. Yeeba's Heartbreak is fire to me. Yeah. Drake ain't on it at all.
I don't know that everybody knows the TJ vibe though. Like,
so the TJ vibe means Dilla inspired type beats, very great rapping, and well produced things. It's not a lot of singing about how you feeling. It's not a lot of, or not in that kind of way. If you do it in a Gambino kind of way, where there's a mix of your lyrics, or Andre 3000, or a Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole. J. Cole might be pushing a little bit much, but there has to be an artistic value that's grounded in something. You know, whereas like if you're not a Drake fan and if you haven't just been kind of like riding the wave, the growth, it's kind of like how I feel about Lupe. It don't matter what Lupe put out. I'm there for it. So to get you to kind of listen to it, I do think it's well produced. I do think that it rides the wave that he's always ridden. Yeah. There's no like production risks that he takes. In the sense that it's that same 40 styled, you know, the thing that he's created, like where if you're not careful, if you're just like passively listening, everything will kind of sound like every other Drake album you've ever heard.
Well, that's exactly what I heard. Yeah. Is every other album that I've heard. Yeah. And so the same kind of airy. Yeah. With some hard drums, you know. Fuck with that, bro. Yes. Yeah, so, that's what I'm hearing. So it sounds like, you know, it sounds like what can I compare this to? It's like melting marshmallows and and
Melting marshmallows.
and African drums.
I can see that.
So you put those two things together, and that's a Drake's album.
Yeah, but I think the thing that was different, and we'll be right back. So back to this why you should listen to Drake situation. I'll just wrap it all up in a tight bow here. If you're actively listening to what it is that he's saying, I think it's a better experience. Because a lot of times I think we try to take everything into account when somebody makes an album, which is what we need to do. So I'm not saying you shouldn't. But to get through it and to kind of see that there is growth, you just kind of have to listen to what it is that he's actually saying.
Yeah. Well, I heard some of what he was saying on the first track.
Champagne Poetry.
Yes, Champagne Poetry. Lupe just did a freestyle over that.
Oh,
by the way.
I knew I should
So you
listen
gotta
to
go.
that.
You gotta go
I
check
knew
that
I hadn't
out.
listened to it yet.
And so I that part resonated, right? Where, you know, he was just like, people are constantly trying to tear me down, and I did all of this, and I'm regretting doing all of this in some ways, but at the same time, like, I don't know if I would actually change my life. So it's kind of like,
No, it's like, not only would I not change it, like, y'all don't, the things that make me excited or make me happy are things that you can't comprehend. You can't break it down. Like my mother, me being able to actually pay for surgeries and make my mother healthier. Y'all can say what y'all want.
right.
It does not matter to me what it is that you think about that. And I think that even though, like, you know, the album in and of itself seems like you're still addressing those people, there's still growth in the way you're addressing those people.
But what about the I guess we can kind of lead into Donda.
Mm-hmm.
Donda. That was the most ridiculous intro I ever heard in my life.
Agreed.
Since this is Drake's perspective,
Mm-hmm.
does the beef even matter?
No.
And is the beef manufactured through these album cycles? Because ultimately they're both on the same label, right?
Universal, yeah.
Universal has released both of these records.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of it is manufactured in the sense that it's just like either it's, I mean, it is one of the softest in terms of beefs in general. Like, I will say that. But Jay-Z being
like a
on
pillow
both the
fight.
albums is like one of those cues
It's
that,
like a popcorn fight.
basically. I mean, they pretty much share like a lot of the same features. I think Dirk
It's
is
like
on
they're
both
fighting
albums.
with canned air.
Nah, what they doing is they got them firecrackers, the little balls that you just throw down and it pops
On
like
the
it's
ground?
like it's making a noise, but what is it really doing?
It's the blicky sound.
It's bubble wrap.
It's bubble wrap.
It's literally just popping bubble wrap. Like, it sounds threatening if you don't know what it is.
So they're going back and forth just.
You know. But Kanye has always done this though. We've just kind of forgotten about it.
Right, because he
Him
did
and
it with
50.
50 Cent,
Yeah.
right, and just kind of drummed that up, and they really leaned into that,
Yeah.
right? And they talk about it to this day. At least 50 does, and so I feel like it's mostly just marketing.
I do too, especially because like there's so much that said, like, especially in Jay-Z's verse. If you listen to Jay-Z's verse, it's pretty much like, look, if it's beef, then let it be beef.
Mm-hmm.
But I would rather just not build with you than to destroy you. Like, that takes discipline from me. You know, like, I've grown to a place to where we just ain't gonna work together. You know, I did that or tried to do that early on in my career in high school, and you saw what happened. Like, it wasn't like I was saying, nah, fam, I hate you. It's just like, we just can't rap together. It comes with too much crap.
Yeah.
You know, not you specifically, because it wasn't you. But anyway. But yeah, so I think it's just a ploy. I mean, I do think that they have earnest beef, but it's just weird. Yeah, I think it's just like celebrity beef. I think we quantify it differently because what would be beef to you and I, like, ain't beef to them.
I don't condone eating lamb, but this is lamb. This is not beef.
Okay,
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
I like that.
Just wrapped it up in a nice, neat little bow.
So with that, you know where to find us. It'd be all in these little areas or here. I don't wait. No,
It's in the description.
Oh, here. Why do I always do that? Here.
We're not gonna. I don't know.
I don't know. And if there's
No-
cards, they're
no
gonna be
cards.
here.
No.
No.
Oh,
Aw.
they'll be above my head over here.
Dink.
Yeah, like the
Trying to match
left arm.
on a camera. Left arm,
Right.
and then go left.
Yeah, but I'm not putting any there, so
Oh.
nobody's gonna look for it there.
Well, don't look for the things.
It's gonna be in the description,
the descriptions.
and Garrett's gonna put like a little crawler down at the bottom, which is great. We designed that just for you, Garrett.
But yeah, we appreciate y'all for being back with us. Sorry for any technical difficulties. Trust, like I said, it's only gonna get better. I mean, y'all been rocking with us for this long. Just keep rocking with us as we build and grow. You'll like us in Studio Alpha and Studio Beta.
The dining room. Anybody on Patreon that's looking for the overtime, we'll do the overtime next time. We're in a different place. Got more time to kind of build up this session. I got an interview to do to promote this show and every other thing that we got. So.
And then also note that Gray Area Anime is coming back. Just give me a little bit more time to get things set up. Obviously, I'm set up to record, but I want to pick the overall vibe of everything up, especially since we're here together. We're going to try and build and do a lot of different things, so just be prepared for that. And we'll see you guys on the next one. A 1 and a 2, and peace.